Moncho munire yabo TV ya Kisii TV na wakiringambye muno asenge ncho yoko rebero byagone cyo kicawo kwandera gusanga amonitwe na anene muno kumanyasa mwana yatwekere SMS yobora lyari tukeriga lya rero muno botambe ncho ndiko nkuru kunyiputo Dennis gosena buwancha onangari kukurira kuntu ndiko nakwariganire ekere kumanyasa mwana yatwekere SMS ari tukeriga lya rero mukonyi bo mugavana ba county ya Kisii Musike Robert Moonda abaye musiye amona barayibande aho kurwa ase county ya Kisii niko bono bamumuchirie Musike Silvanus Osoro mubunge South Mugirango ane muraso kwene kiwana koleta iburaburu eye negatiwe ase amatanga yamo meye wodi ya boikanga meye bunge South Mugirango county ya Kisii wakwana tukuderera kurwa ase amagacha Nairobi nigo Musike nigo baskabo batebire buna nigo Musike Silvanus Osoro agotuma kachinguru cyaye cyo buchifuipu obo ayetwewetra ase bunge na anene muno gotareta omurembe ase county ya Kisii nona boigo ni wa mumuchirie mutenene baba banyimbo Musike kome amono mutenene ribo borendi boime Musike kindiki anene muno ase okoiwera Musike Silvanus Osoro oyokorete buraburu amonajisegi ase county ya Kisii nona boyekere yagenderete kurwa ase amagacho Nairobi mokonyi mu mugavana boy county ya Kisii Musike Robert Moonda nigo atebire buna okomena na ko mugavana boy county ya Kisii Musike Simba Arati umutenene bochisemi imiense ya Kenya Musike Ezekiel Machagu amuno murayi wense William Samuel Ruto tikwarengete gokwanera chisege cyategete ase ebunga South Mugirango korena satebire buna okomera no kwoni okwarenge gokoreta amagenderero gocha ase county ya Kisii Robotoro asenchera yobokerano
run on our own. And also I'm inviting you to Kisii. Come again and repeat what you did. If you think you know much about violence, you are welcome, come again.
Mheshimiwa Osoro ya kwamba tangu Kenya jinyakulie uhuru tumekuwa na viranja wengi wenye wako wanajulikana hata nyadhifa zao, lakini sasa hivi ambapo imefika mtu wetu mmoja amepewa nyadhifa ya kuwa kiranja wa walio wengi.
Me here I've got members of Kisii County Assembly, but we have a privilege to be with our Deputy Governor, His Excellency Dr. Robert Moonda. I want to read a statement and then afterwards they'll be able to speak. Honorable Osoro's unbecoming behavior in Kisii is unwelcomed. For the first few months, the Kisii County have experienced a rather unusual spate of violent incidents, death and injuries to innocent people orchestrated by MP of South Mugirango, Honorable Silvanus Osoro. Honorable Osoro uses his position as the majority whip in the National Assembly to undermine other elected leaders, harass members of the public and cause mayhem everywhere he goes. He unleashed terror on people even where it's not necessary, and his childish behavior is now unbecoming and unwelcome. We have noticed incidents where Honorable Osoro has directly unleashed his goons on people and public institutions. Among the goons he uses are criminals wanted for murder charges but still walk freely because they enjoy an ultimate protection from him. 2 months ago at Nyamarambe, in his constituency, goons hired by Honorable Osoro stormed Nduru Level 4 Hospital, a facility that serves thousands of people, harassed patients and medical staff, and destroyed property worthy and surmounted amount. Some medical personnel, Dr. Mtunga and Matiko, who were trapped inside the hospital, escaped death by a whisker when the police swung into action and prevented the goons from touching the hospital. Police literally averted what could have been an ugly incident that could have even led to death. The goons were arrested and taken into police custody, but surprisingly, all of them were bailed out by Honorable Osoro after issuing threats to the helpless police officers. 3 weeks ago, non-goons who enjoyed protection from him, Osoro and with whom he posts photographs and posts in social media platform, accosted a young man a boda boda operator, and hacked him to death. His mistake was just wearing an orange t-shirt that had Governor Simbarati's picture. On Tuesday this week, Honorable Osoro and his goons, who were wielding crude weapons, including bows and arrows, stormed the funeral service of the late Mzee Ayema, the father of Boikanga Ward MCA, Honorable Paul Okombo. He arrived in a manner that showed he was coming for war, and with total disrespect to the old man and the over 4,000 mourners who were present, he tried to stop Governor Simba from addressing the mourners, and when this failed, his goons began hailing stones, and other projectiles, including arrows, at the mourners. In the mayhem that ensured people were injured, women suffered broken limbs, and vehicles belonging to mourners damaged. It was a bad incident and very disrespectful to the deceased, who was respected by members of the society. He then flew back to Nairobi on a chopper, only to be seen leading the Bunge Praise and Worship Choir at the National Prayer Breakfast, which is supposed to be a solemn event for repentance and forgiveness. He attacked people and left many with injuries, mark you, his own constituents. As if this was not enough, he took his uncouth behavior to police officers whose only mistake was to stop him from causing bloodbath at the funeral. He started sending intimidation texts to the area hospital, Mr. Samson Rakunga, calling him names and blaming him for interfering with his work. He threatened to have him transferred. Yes, these threats have borne fruits, and the dedicated public servant whose calling is Utumishi kwa wote has been recalled to the police headquarters without any posting. Our question is, who is protecting Honorable Osoro? Why is he marauding Kisii County, which has an elected governor, senator, women representative, MPs, and MCAs, and terrorizing everyone who doesn't conform his uncouth childish behavior? Why does the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Japhet Koome, listen to him and act on his instructions when he knows that violence and attacks of innocent people is unlawful? Why is the CS, Interior, and the coordination of the national government, Professor Kithure Kindiki, quiet on this? Kisii County people are hurting, and the silence of Professor Kindiki is raising eyebrows. Therefore, we as the leaders from Kisii County are demanding the immediate arrest of Honorable Osoro to be prosecuted for violence on people and protecting criminals who are in the wanting list of police. We are giving the government 24 hours to arrest this goon in the name of the government chief whip in the National Assembly and make him face the law. Failure to which we shall know that we are on our own and defend ourselves. If we will not have been arrested by the expire of our ultimatum, we shall present the petition to the President to have the IG Koome removed from office for abating and condoning acts of violence and crime. We also call upon the Independent Police Oversight Authority, IPOA, to defend the police officers from leaders who use their powers to intimidate and harass them. Police officers must be allowed to protect lives of wananchi and their property, and not to be used as puppets for those who seek abuse of power. To Mr. Osoro, we want to tell him power.
Who has joined these leaders, the MCAs, and other leaders from the Kisii County Assembly, to also air my voice that on behalf of the Kisii people, we know we have had elections, we have leaders elected, including those of us who are here today. The Honorable Osoro, in his short time as the Chief Whip of the National Assembly, has had violent engagements. One, he drove the doctors in Enduro Health Facility, the hospital, in his constituency, where doctors and workers in the hospital were beaten up by people he engaged himself. That's one. And that's less than 2 months ago. The next time, Osoro had a team that killed a young man, a border rider, in Kisii town, broad daylight. The third one is where Osoro is engaging mourners in a battle, carrying arrows, carrying swords, carrying rungus, stones, and that's in a funeral. He has not offered an explanation how mourners could be carrying arrows. Arrows are crude weapons that are not found where people are getting one of them buried. The question we have here is Osoro as a chief whip allowed by law to engage people in violent activities? Doctors were beaten up, the people were arrested. Osoro released them on his own bond. He had sworn in full view of the public that even if they are arrested, he will again have them released, which he did. The doctors, we have sent them back to the hospital, which was closed for over a month. The second one is the dead boy who has been buried. Then this one of the funeral. The challenge here is, Kithure Kindiki, you have your officers on the ground. You have a commander in the county, police commander. You have the OSPD, whom has been transferred by a word from Osoro. Let him be transferred because he didn't protect Osoro so that either the governor and anyone else be injured in the burial. The question is Kindiki in charge of security of Kenyans, including those in Kisii, so that Osoro can also be questioned like anyone else? Osoro is misrepresenting the government if he's a chief whip of the National Assembly. I even don't remember the chief whip who served with me in the 10th Parliament when I was an MP. So how long would it take for Osoro to be forgotten that he was a chief whip? He has been there for a few months, and he's simply blowing a trumpet that is a chief whip. Being a chief whip, there are several others who live around in Kenya and who behaved well than what we are seeing from Osoro. He's actually giving us, as Kisii, a very bad image in the country. That instead of using your position to help, to give order, to assist people see an orderly leader, you come and sit down among the mourners, and that time you have already engaged people to throw arrows because you have to take cover. You are down there when arrows are flying up there. This must stop. I'm appealing to my friend, His Excellency William Ruto, that this individual called Osoro is not the only one who will represent your interest in Kisii. All of us are there. We are politicians of a better measure than Osoro's. Don't be misrepresented by Osoro. Osoro is giving UDA a bad image. It cannot be the president's interest to have people in violent engagements, including in funerals. Either Osoro keeps to his job as chief whip, or you remove him so that he's able to come and engage us in Kisii without being a chief whip. I think Osoro has misunderstood the title and the position he has been given as chief whip. He believes a chief whip is to beat people around, beat them around, so that's when you are a whip. You are not whipping anybody. It's not by carrying a rungo or an arrow to beat. You are a whip to mobilize parliamentarians to go to the assembly and make them work on the agenda given by the government. But Osoro is misunderstanding. I think, I don't want to call him a goon. He's a young man who is misbehaving with the power. The real power he has been given. It's not so much power. If you are a whip in the assembly, you have only the few MPs you are supposed to whip. To mobilize Osoro, whipping is not beating. It's mobilizing, sensitizing the MPs to be in the parliament. And do the agenda as directed by the government. Now, if you draw your power and take it to Kisii to exercise it, I'm appealing to Kindiki and the Koome as the Inspector General. Please stop Osoro from what he's doing. We have given 24 hours. If nothing happens, we shall run on our own. And we are saying we shall run on our own. And Osoro, I'm inviting you to Kisii. Come again and repeat what you did. If you think you know much about violence, you are welcome, come again.
Mheshimiwa Osoro, ya kwamba tangu Kenya ijinyakulie uhuru, tumekuwa na viranja wengi, wenye wako wanajulikana hata nyadhifa zao. Lakini sasa hivi, ambapo imefika mtu wetu mmoja amepewa nyadhifa ya kuwa kiranja wa walio wengi katika bunge letu la kitaifa, lakini anatumika mamlaka yake vibaya. Nasi, kama jamii ya Wakisii, hatutakubali kamwe. Vijana wetu wengi wameteseka kwa mikono yake. Uchochezi wake, wacha wachane nao na heshimu viongozi ambao wamechaguliwa katika nyadhifa mbalimbali. Tukirudi pande mwingine, Mheshimiwa Osoro awache kucheza ndumi la kawili na maisha ya binadamu. Wacha asiwe mtu mwadilina ambaye hataki mabadiliko katika kaunti yetu. Tulifanya uchaguzi tukamaliza. Sasa kuna viongozi ambao wamechaguliwa ambao wanahitaji wapewe heshima, waweze kufanya ushirikiano ili tuweze kupata maendeleo katika kaunti yetu ya Kisii. Mimi nataka pia kumpea onyo Mheshimiwa Osoro. Wale vijana wa bodaboda ambao ameweka kwa mfuko yake, anatembea nao, anachochea wachache ili hao vijana waende walete furuga katika kaunti yetu ya Kisii. Ikome mara moja. Naye katibu wetu wa wizara ya ulinzi wa ndani, tafadhali wacha kulala kazini, wacha kuzembea kazini. Amuka. Kuna tatizo kule Kisii ambayo inachangiwa na mmoja wenu. Wakati wa siasa ulikuisha, Mheshimiwa Ruto ndio rais, analinda nchi yetu. Wewe Osoro ni nani? Unakuja kuchochea vijana. Sisi tumekuwa watulivu kwa muda mrefu. Tunampa waziri wa ulinzi masaa 24. Asipotupa ripoti kamili, basi hatuna budi ila tunajua sheria jinsi ya kufanya maneno yetu. Asante sana.
The meeting between the President and the Governor Kisii County, together with the CS Machogu, was not related to this matter we are talking about here today. Totally was on other issues on development of the county. Yes.
Okay, thank you. We call it a day. No, thank you. We call it a day. Thank you.
First and foremost, I thought the questions that were coming into this activity were questions related to the statement that we have given. Other statements regarding the County Assemblies Forum and the activities that are happening within the assemblies in the Republic of Kenya, I think we will have another avenue to respond to them. Yeah.
Is there any of the members who is from UDA, any of the MCAS?
Absolutely, there are quite a number. Yes, we have quite a number of MCAs from UDA.
We have about 5.
We have Mheshimiwa Achira here, is a member elected from UDA, and he is actually dissociating himself with the activities of hooliganism from Honorable Osoro. We have quite a number of them.
Jared Masieka is
Jared
there.
Masieka here is an honorable member from UDA.
No,
No, they are not. They are not.
Ask the questions you want to ask. We are ready. Yes.